Hello, friends. Today we are going to discuss something about a special genre of literature, that is novel. Short stories, we all read stories, and we classify stories as small stories and as big stories. On a very broader perspective, we divide them as thus. So, a short story is a pocket sized version of life, whereas the extensive and a whole description of the life of the central character right from the beginning of his life to the time that he passes away from the narrative is a novel. So, the term novel has been taken from the Italian term novella, which meant a life story, a new technique of telling a life story. So, as we define a novel is a long narrative work of fiction with some realism. So, a novel cannot be something that has no bearing to the everyday life of human beings. It has realism. What happens? The incidents are real life incidents, and the characters in the novels are also real life characters. A novel is often in prose form and is published as a single book aiming to entertain and tell a story. So, another factor of novel is that the aim of a novel is always to entertain. It might bring some kind of a sad feeling about the person in the center suffering, or it might elate us and tell us the common everyday aspects of joy. But then it is always entertaining, because to entertain means to bring a person face to face with life. An entertaining thing need not do not mistake the word entertain with something that always gives joy. An entertainment could be the bringing back to some stark realities of life the audience. So when the writer attempts to bring his audience to a reality, a realism, and he does it in such a way that we identify ourselves with the characters in it, then it is entertainment. And that the purpose of a novel is to tell a story. A story is about a character, about a setting, about a place that might be casting the impact, and it is about society at large, holding the characters lifelike before us. So, the mission of a story is to, mission of a novel is to tell a story. Tell means it is always a narrative. There could be dialogues in it, but the mission is there thereby just to narrate, always through the perspective of the sufferer or through the perspective of the people sharing his fortunes. It is a description of a chain of events which includes a cast of characters. So, what is novel about? It is about characters. It is about setting. Setting is the social, it is the family, the society, the times, or maybe a forever occurrence. So, the setting is there for a novel and an ending. So, we are brought to have all our queries satisfied when we come to the end of the novel. It could evoke some kind of thoughts in our mind. It could evoke an analysis, a tendency to analyze the conditions, the setting, the character, and the end. But then the end convinces us all with some incident after which we may not be allowed to ask, and then what happened to this character? We are not allowed. We are not given the scope to make an assessment, or things do not stand loose in the time space. Things do not stand loose in setting space. Things just go on and then come to a very convincing end. Similar to a short story, a novel has some features like a representation of characters, dialogues, setting, plot, climax, conflict, and resolution. I have already talked about the characters. I have said that the conversation between them that show their real mettle is the dialogue. The background, the society, the economics, the state, the politics, whatever is there, serve as a setting to that. Then there is a unified plotting of incidents. So there is a plot which take us to the climax. We are brought face to face to that situation where there would be a confrontation. And this confrontation is the conflict. No, a novel cannot be about a very plain study, a plain sequence of action. It always has to have that element of suspense, an element of awaiting the next. It is about very closely connected people, closely connected incidents, and very logically drawn dialogues. And ultimately, a novel gives us a resolution. What is a resolution? Resolution is the drive that caused the novelist to bring to us this narrative. Resolution is also the drive that causes us to ponder the various aspects of the chief character, the various aspects of the supplementing characters, of the setting, of the place, of the times, and everything. How do they correlate to each other? How does one stand conducive to the growth of other? How is the setting conducive to the development of the character? How are the characters conducive to the actions that take place between each another? So, this is a resolution. You resolve. The writer resolves and the audience resolves. The readers resolve, not the audience. I beg your pardon. The readers then make resolutions. They try to delve deep into the narrative, into the character, and into the psyches that have gone into the framing of this life size presentation of character. Now, what are the elements of a novel? A novel has five components. The story of a novel has five components. They are the characters, the setting, the plot, the conflict, and the resolution. Characters are the mouthpieces who will establish some truth or some fiction, maybe. The setting is the, the background which causes the drive for the actors, for the characters to flourish. The plot is the boundaries within which each character is given the scope to converse and to develop. The conflict is the various mental phenomena that might be going on, that go on in the mind of the characters, and which bring the occurrence of the incidents. And resolution, as I told you, is the aim, is the mission for which these characters are formulated in the given setting, with the given plot, and with the given conflict, to evoke in our minds the what, the how, and the why of the incidents. Also, let us try to think of what are the various types of novels. Broadly speaking, they could be fiction or they could be non fiction, but otherwise, if you categorize them as far as the resolution is concerned, they could be termed as picaresque. Picaresque is about the life of a character who does not fit in the social standards, not only of that time, that means not temporarily, but permanently, but for all times. Epistolary. Epistolary novels are about, they are developed on the basis of letters that someone has written, someone who is related to the character or the characters. The Gothic, which are about the legends. Romantic, which are about love. Realist. So, realist novels are those that are about characters that are everyday characters, everyone character, and are about incidents that are everyday incidents. And also, we can read novels which are historical. And there could be many others as well, of which we shall make an understanding in the next lecture. Thank you.